First thing I gotta say, is there anything in my nose? Because I feel like I have a booger right now out of all the times to do this. Look at this crowd. This is fucking insane. Make some noise for yourself. I feel like I'm at a Darius Rucker concert. This is. This is. So I gotta tell you this really quick. I just got back from North Carolina and Nashville last week. Woo! And on my flight there, I was like, or when I was going to my gate, you get to your gate and you're like, I'm not sure I'm in the right place. And I saw a bunch of people with with Carolina Panthers jerseys and hats and stuff, and I was like, all right, I'm going to the right place. When I was coming here to Idaho this week, I walked up to my gate and I was like, I don't know if I'm in the right place. And I saw a bunch of people with camo on, and I was like, all right, I'm going to the right place. I'm so happy to be up here. I'm gonna share. That's a dope picture. I'm gonna share. I'm gonna share a story about my grandfather and I, and it's a story about humility and perspective. I started fishing 5.5 years ago. I got into it because I was trying to date this girl, and she said, "Hey, we should try something new." And I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be exciting." She said we should go tie flies together, and I was like, "What? I don't even know what that is." So we went to a fly tying class, and I fell in love. The relationship didn't work out, but I fell in love with tying flies. I told my gramps this, and he said, "Actually, Eeland, I've been fishing for 50 plus years. You should come out with us on a trip." So that whole summer, from learning how to tie flies, we fished for carp. He taught me how to cast. Some of you shook your head when I said he fished for carp. Yes, that you can do that. Trash people. And so it was a great summer. And then for the past 20 years or so, him and his best friends have all gone on a fishing trip. Every year they go to the same place. And this was my first time joining them. So fast forward 5 years later, it's my grandfather's 70th birthday, and we're going on this fishing trip, and all his friends keep telling me, he has a friend named Jet. I don't know how he got that name. He's the slowest one in the group. And he has a friend named Duke, who is missing a finger. So, still haven't gotten to the bottom of that story. But they're great guys, and they've been fishing for 50 plus years. So this past trip, we're going fishing, and we ended up in one of my favorite places in northern Colorado. If I can click this button. And one of my favorite places is northern Colorado, and all they wanted this whole trip, only fish they wanted was a brown trout. And some of you might be thinking, that's very simple. And where you're from, brown trouts are almost given. They may be too easy to catch. This is kind of the perspective side of it, is that these men never got the opportunity to catch wild browns, because where they're from, they're all stocked. So we get up to this place, and we're learning how to or they're relearning how to cast and stuff. And I'm catching fish, of course, and they're not. And so every night when we're back at the cabin, they're asking me 1,000,001 questions, and some questions I can answer and some questions I don't. But this is probably one of my favorite pictures. Duke there is in the blue shirt, and Jet is on the left. You can obviously see how fit Jet is. I hope he doesn't get mad for me saying that. That's funny. But yeah, so every night we would go back, and we were catching fish. Our first day, we were catching cutbows and rainbows and brook trout, and we would bring them back and cook them and eat them. But the only fish that they really cared about was brown trout, salmatruta. And all I kept thinking is, I fish all the time, as much as I can, and I catch brown trout all the time. But here's three men who are just looking for the chance, the opportunity to catch one of their favorite species, one of their favorite fish. So it's we have 1 night left, 2 days left. On the second to last day, we spent all day in this river trying to catch fish. We caught, like I said, we just caught rainbows, and we caught cut bows, and we caught brookie, but we never ever caught a brown trout. They went back to their camp, or they went back to the cabin. I stayed and fished. When I got back, they were like, "Hey, did you catch any more fish? Did you catch a brown trout?" And I was like, "No, but I did." And I felt so bad that I didn't want to tell them because it's not about one-upping one each other. It's about helping and guiding. And so I told them I did, and I was like, I'm super bummed out. In my head, I was like, I'm the shit. But I couldn't say that. You don't say that, right? So it's the last day of our fishing trip. It's that night. That was the second to last day. So we have our final night there, and we're leaving the next day. And we head out to the lake, and it's the sun's going down, and we're good. The sun's going down, and we get this gym here. If you have the opportunity to teach old people how to fish, make sure they listen, because all they kept throwing was grasshoppers. And where we were at, there were no grasshoppers around. But that is how they wanted to catch a fish. And the only reason I took a picture of this fish is because I was like, I wanted to see if this works. And I cast it out there, lands on the water, explosion. This guy ate a grasshopper. So it's our last night, and we're driving back from this lake, and there's something about the air. There's something about that there's no wind. It's really warm. The way the sun was setting over the mountain, it's really calm. My grandfather and I are looking at each other, and we both smile, and we just say, "Let's go." Now, we had heard that the browns, particularly in the sunset and at night, would kill anything moving in the water. So we thought, as the sun's setting, let's see if we can go out. So my gramps and I, we throw our stuff in the truck. We head back to the lake. We're sitting there looking. We're not sure what we should tie on. My gramps ties on one of his favorite flies and walks to the other side of the bank, casts out, and as soon as his fly lands on the water, a fish takes it. And we never know how big it is, but the fish, we reel the fish in, and it's just, before it gets to the net, you see how buttery it is, you see how gold it is. Yeah. And so that's his brown. Now the funny thing about this, he told me he leaned in close. He's not a very picturesque guy. He doesn't really like taking a lot of pictures. But with this fish, he leans in and goes, "Take this picture so your grandma can see I can still catch a big fish." And as anglers, we all know you're not going to get a girlfriend from fishing. So, but that's his fish. It came almost to about 5 pounds. But that was his joy. And just seeing him smile and just seeing him happy, I was like, this has been a hell of a trip. But instead of heading back that night, we stayed out. It was a full moon. It's still warm out, no wind on the water. And we're casting until about 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning, and we get nothing. We're not getting any hits. We're not hearing fish like splash in the water. We're doing nothing. He tells me, hey, in 5 minutes, we got to head out, but let's just keep casting. Let's just enjoy what we have. And then I got a little teary. I was like, wow, like this is my grandfather who taught me how to fly fish, and here we are just appreciating a moment together. And I cast out, and I strip. I felt something knock, and I was like, maybe I got hit on something. Strip. Fish comes and takes it and just takes my 6-weight and just runs. And I start yelling to my Gramps, I think I got a fish. Because I don't want to ruin anything. And so he runs out of the water, comes down the bank, and is like, let me see. So I'm still reeling it in, and I hand him my rod, and I'm like, let's fight this together. It's super cheesy, whatever, but I did it. Some of you were like, ooh, like I did it, so what? Jesus. Thank you. I don't know why I got so aggressive just now. I'm so sorry. But he reels in the fish, and I finally net it for him. And we're sitting there looking at it, and all we can do is giggle. Like, there was no outburst laughing. We were just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe. And he was like, do you want a picture? And I was like, yeah, do you want one? He was like, this moment isn't about the fish. This is about us, but I will take a picture so you can show off to people. And I was like, cool. And so I know it's blurry, but yeah. So that's not my fish. That's not any of our fish. No one that owns that fish, but that's fish has memories and has given me an opportunity to share my story with people and share a story with my grandpa. Sorry, I'm getting a little choked up. But yeah, thank you guys. So just, I mean, if you ever have the opportunity to take anyone fishing, whether they are older than you, younger than you, whether they look like you or don't, whether you speak the same language or not, we're all in this room because we believe in core values and things like that. And I think that's how I got this fish, from just happen to be luck, and that's how we all are going to meet some of our best friends, some of our wives and husbands, and how we're going to protect this land. So thank you guys so much. My name is Eeland Stribling. Stop it. Hold on. Can I do one more thing? Can I do one more thing? Sorry. So, sorry, real quick. I know this is selfish, but my grandfather would never believe that I did this. So if you guys could, like, I'm going to say, hey, Gramps, and if you guys could say, hey, Gramps, all at the same time, that'd be super dope. You don't have to. You can stay sitting down. I don't give a shit. All right. Maybe I'm the old guy. All right, here we go. Hey, Gramps, how's it going? Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Give it up for Eeland Stribling.